We're going to be talking about trade centres for schools and the basis of trades and apprenticeships that go on into our community. And joining me this morning is the Honourable Michael Ronaldson. Yes, used to wear number 2 for Richmond, those booming big drop left kicks. How are you, Michael?
Yeah, I wish.
Well, as you said, on a good day,
I was a good basketballer, though.
A good basketballer, a good dunker.
Yes.
Now, quite seriously, Michael, this subject of Corangamite and Corio, we've seen that the federal government have come out, made announcements in relation to funding for trade centres within the education system, and yet Corio and Corangamite, the two Cs, we seem to have missed out at this stage.
Well, look, regrettably, Graham, it's not just about Corangamite and Corio, it's also about secondary schools all over Australia. And we're standing out the front of the Oberon High School in Corangamite. It was given and promised money by Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd and Darren Cheeseman before the last election, and of course there hasn't been a sod turned. There's been no action at all, and it is very much a broken promise. Now this issue of trade training and giving young people the best opportunity, particularly in a difficult jobs market, we think is fundamental to their future. It is a broken promise. It's a promise that they have got to bring back in and reinitiate, for want of a better word, and just get the job done. There's too much hanging on this, and the future of young people in Geelong and right throughout Australia is reliant upon these sort of initiatives, and they're just not delivering.
Once upon a time here in our great city of Geelong, we had technical schools. Here in Corangamite was the Grovedale Technical School. We had the Great Geelong West Technical School. We had the East Geelong Technical School, and so it went on. They were great. Corio Technical School out in Corio. They were great trade bases for the schools that then went on further to establish terrific business opportunities in Geelong.
Look, I'm a bit biased, Graham, because I come from a family manufacturing background, and I know how important trade skills are. I thought in the 80s the state Labor government threw the baby out with the bathwater. When the federal coalition was elected in 1996, we identified that as a key issue, and we poured enormous resources into apprenticeships, traineeships, and giving kids who didn't want to go to university the opportunity to have a profession and a skill base for the future. And what should have happened here at Oberon hasn't happened, and broken promises like that are playing with kids' lives, and we think it is totally inappropriate and needs to be addressed urgently.
You go back to the 80s, I certainly do, in the manufacturing base, which was strong around Geelong, 86, 87, 88. We were very low in skills base, particularly in the electrical field, to the stage where a lot of the big manufacturers were even travelling overseas to recruit electricians, particularly, to come and their families to immigrate to Australia and work. And yet we don't seem to have done anything in relation to improving that situation.
Well, certainly the former coalition did do something about it, and we poured billions of dollars of resources into apprenticeships and traineeships and to get the system up. This is not something that just goes in cycles. It's got to be ongoing, and that's why when this announcement was made by the current government that they were going to put trade training centres into schools, we welcomed that as a further initiative, but it just hasn't been delivered. Not a sod turned, and a broken promise. Now, you and I know that about 70% of young people do not go on to university, and we as a community owe it to those young people who don't want to go to university to make sure that they've got the skills base for the future, for their own lives, and clearly trade training skills are absolutely fundamental to that development.
In fact, in the current system of VCE education, from my own experience, a lot of the, shall we say, underachieving students, in order to be able to get their VCE, have hand-selected subjects made for them before they then go out into the world. They don't go on to university, but they do struggle.
Well, one of, I think, the great initiatives of the former government was as a school-to-work or school-to-training transition program, where young people in schools were actually able to go and develop skills by going to trade schools while they were still at school. Now, look, my very strong view is, although I'm university educated, my background is that people with trade skills know how to use their heads and their hands. And they are great skills, and we should be encouraging that. And it's not about getting every kid who wants to go to university or is thinking about it being pushed into university. We've got to provide kids with a full range of work and skill opportunities.
And what we're also seeing in today's age is that it is not, maybe going back to my school days, just male gender based. It is female and male gender based across a lot of the trade skill areas.
Absolutely, and as it should be. I mean, I think it has been in the past, but people just didn't talk about it. But of course, young men and women have got to be given those equal opportunities to develop those skills. And I say, I'm biased. I'm a passionate supporter of trade skills training, and anything we can do must be done. And when we see a promise broken, as it was before the last election, then Darren Cheeseman has actually got to get off his backside and go and make sure that Oberon and all these other schools are getting the trade training centres that they were promised.
But full credit.
Is it not going to be?
There will be. They're still fighting away, though, aren't they, St Mary's? They haven't given up yet.
26, nearly 27 minutes gone, third quarter.
Something to talk about at the end of this quarter. I think their game style, St Mary's, needs a little bit of work. Coming through the middle of the ground, there's Dyer. Gave it off to Walton. Walton, quick kick out of the pack, trying to find a teammate. Ball bounced all right for Barth. He's tackled, held in the tackle. And the umpire says, I'll bounce. So, about to do it once again. It's 41 points is the margin. We've gone 27 minutes into this third term. Paul Corrigan get a quick kick out of the pack. Lavaz takes a nice little mark and switch the play here. The option's there, but he decides to get around his opponent and then kick it into the man on the mark. And then he goes back in and picks the ball up. Could have got a free kick for a leg.
Yeah.
Double stat. He's going to get the double stat. It's underrated. Kick into the man on the mark, get the free kick and get another one. Oh, he's going to get
another one.
He's going to get a triple stat.
He's going to triple stat this one. Quick handball off to Maddox. Ball bounced. Terrible for him. Corrigan got the ball. Look away handball. The bloke wasn't looking where he was going to handball it, so it didn't work. Then Lavar's going to get a fourth here. He goes back. He picks the ball up. A little short kick around the corner. Barth taken out of it. Play on's the call. Corrigan, Paul to Garvey to Westwood. Westwood further afield to Buckland and St Mary's. South Barn are out of trouble.
Kicks to the wing, looking for Richie. Barth did well. That was Luke over the ball. Handball up. Looks for a teammate, Travascus with the footy. Kicks towards half forward, looking for Twiggy McLean. Pushes Torello under the ball, has to go back. A foot race on now, getting back there. Barker been pretty good today. Yeah. Wiseman, handball up, out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
The backline's been very good across that half back line, haven't they?
They have been the likes of Barker and also Wiseman and Buckland. They're a formidable defence. They've got the best back line in the competition by the best part of 200 points. As Gilligan goes with Garvey. Gilligan won the tap down, hacked out of the air. Is that Gilligan? That was touched. Was Gilligan off the ground, through for a behind. Margin back to an even 40. 14.589 to 7.749. Dean Armstrong on Vision Australia Radio.
So Buckland does the kick in. He kicks it a long way. Mark Corrigan goes up, couldn't mark the ball. Gilligan was there. So was Dyer. Looks like Dyer might have that job for the rest of the day. But at three-quarter time, it is South Bowen by 41 points. South Bowen 14.589. 40 points.